If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
So it was a mess, but I mean, for Cincinnati, how cold it was out there. And I think, when I woke up that morning, I went and got a coffee and came back and said, it's nice out. And then I went out 3 hours later and I thought, there's no way they're going to throw the ball out here. When you guys first got on the field, I saw Joe walk on the field real early. It must have been about 1:30, almost 3 hours before the game. And everything was blowing sideways. Was it like that way? It didn't seem that way in the game because it felt like everybody was passing the ball relatively effectively.
Yeah, it was blowing hard. I mean, Joe just has a strong arm. He was able to cut through the wind, and we were talking about it. Everyone tried to say, they're tough on Joe, but Joe's really a all-weather quarterback, and he's built for this division. In the winter time, it's gonna be windy, it's gonna be cold, and you're gonna have to be able to throw, through that. And Joe had one of his better games of the year.
Absolutely. Talk about Joe a little bit, because you come into the league and you're familiar with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and the guys that have won championships and Roethlisberger and all those guys. But for someone like you, young guys, to come in, to the difference between an NFL quarterback throwing the football to you and a college quarterback throwing, you talk about arm strength. Are there times you run routes and think, I don't know how the ball's going to get here? Early on, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. The first thing we notice is that the accuracy. The ball's always where it needs to be. If more often than not, if it's an incompletion, it's probably your fault. Especially us as receivers. Understanding depth and just getting our head around fast. Just so many little things that can lead to mistakes on our end, whether it's depth or drops. So, having Joe, he's definitely one of the best in the business to us, and he has all the tools to be, one of the best to play the games, and it's on us to help him get there.
Have you noticed, even through the course of the season, that you're learning routes better and learning the game better? That mistakes, if you go back and look at, let's say, the first Pittsburgh game or the first Cleveland game or the first Cincinnati game, to look at mistakes you made in route running, and then you pick it up. Can you express to everybody what it's like to handle a playbook at the NFL level coming in from where you came from?
It's kind of like trying to learn the whole encyclopedia.
Up all night?
It wasn't as bad for me because Coach Friesian ran the same kind of offense, so it was a quick adjustment for us.
For both of you?
Yeah, we were able to understand the plays, and I remember at the beginning of the year I was getting, with certain terms, it's football, use the same type terms, and I was mixing up our Maryland plays with our ones here. I'm running Maryland routes, and
Tell everybody what to put, because I think a lot of fans love to hear this stuff. Give an example of, your first touchdown pass in St. Louis, which excited me. There were 50,000 empty seats there. I was one of the happy purple people. So you get out, you catch that touchdown pass. What's that play call, if you can remember? Just tell everybody what the name. When Joe gets in the huddle, he says what?
That play was double right, quick ace right heat. And, actually I was supposed to run a little 6-yard hitch, but he pressed me, so, that means it's time to go past him, man. Joe made a great throw. We were able to get it done.
How many times have you been wide open this year and look back and Joe's on his back or he dumped the ball off or what? I always think it must be the most frustrating thing in the world to run 40 yards in 4.2 seconds or whatever and turn around and realize the ball's not coming. That's got to happen a lot, though, right?
It's definitely tough as a receiver, but it's a team game. You got to understand that not everything is going to go right, and it is tough. When you're 50 yards downfield, especially me. I'm jogging back to the huddle, my arms dangling, I'm dead tired. Trying to get back.
Tapping yourself on the head.
Yeah, but as an offense, we hit on things more often than not.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.